Hello there, good morning. This is an unexpected, kind of a surprise live reading. I have something that came through and I felt it was important to share it. I've been going through some intense transmutation of energies that no longer serve me, including grieving some things that I know will never come to pass. And I feel like that is part of what many of us are going through at this time. And when we do the work, we get the rewards of up-leveling our frequency. And at that point, we're able to access higher dimensional realms or bring through clear channeled messages. So, hey, Pat, welcome. So thank you for being here for this impromptu message. So this morning, I sat down at my altar to do my morning, prayers, meditation, etc. And I immediately heard this message, 3D, 5D, and multidimensionality. And I could feel that my guides wanted to come through to deliver a message. So I got my current journal out and began the writing process. And that's what I'm going to read to you now. So I'm going to be looking down and reading from my book here, my journal. And because I feel like this is a message that certainly was for me directly, but also is a message to deliver to many, many of us at this time who are, we are at an important juncture at this moment. We are at a juncture of time which is inviting us to redirect our focus, change the mission, change the nature of the mission right now. So I invite you to receive this message and take what you will from it. This is from my guides and teachers named Ananda, and they are a collective of many beings. Some have been human, some have not been human. And so that's where this is coming from. Hey, Evelina, welcome. So I'm going to read it to you now. Let's just take a quick breath to get grounded and centered and be available to receive this guidance, allowing yourself to take in whatever serves your highest good and releasing the rest. From the heart space of peace, a mind of present moment awareness, and a womb space connected with love as the creative source. One more breath in. And releasing. Okay, I'm going to read to you now. 3D, 5D, and multidimensionality. A channeled transmission. The two-strand DNA human is a very limited being. Awareness dimmed to a focus almost solely on the material world, he or she walks blindly through their world, unaware of the continuous flow of energy and information all around them. From the energetics of Earth perspective, this is the fall, what we would call the fall. Indeed, it is a fall from grace, that was quoted as well, in the sense that it is or was a drop in consciousness so profound that much of the subtlety, grace, and beauty of experience was lost. In the dense confines of third dimensional perception, there seems to be no grace almost whatsoever, except for works of art or nature for those who have more awareness. In this sense, the descent into 3D was indeed a fall, but never was it a fall from the grace of God. Never has the divine abandoned her children. Never have the children of the One left the kingdom, the all that is. Never have they been apart from that which you would call God, no matter how frightful the dream. Okay, so now there's a little shift, and we're going to talk more about, or they're going to talk more about the situation we find ourselves in now and the energies we have to focus on. Okay, hey Victoria, welcome. So there are two things happening on your planet right now: a shift of ages and an ascension process. Not all shifts of ages involve an ascension process. In the vast annals and eons of the multiverses, there are ascensions and descension processes. You are best served right now to focus on your own journey as a human family. This is far more important than being distracted by the goings-on of other civilizations and their evolving or devolving processes. Evolving or devolving processes. You are living in a world which has been seeped in the very dense consciousness which you refer to as 3D. It is defined by a focus on matter and the material form and a profound belief in separation. From your vantage point, you have been in this state of 3D as a human family for a very long time. From our perspective, beyond time, the human experiment in 3D is neither short nor long. It simply is. Let me go here. At this juncture, the human is shifting in an ascension process into a more multidimensional expression, one in which more of the grace of that which you would call God can be experienced. This is as it should be, and there are many beings involved in supporting this process. These beings include your galaxy's central core star, your solar system sun, your Earth, all of the planetary bodies in your solar system, and many other solar systems in your galaxy. Other beings involved in what you would see as a more direct or hands-on approach include the many races gathered round your Earth as part of what you would refer to as the Galactic Federation, along with many, and they emphasize that, ascended masters who walked both your 3D Earth as well as, for some, the Earth as she had been before her frequency drop. And of course, you, dear ones, are also part of this active engagement in Earth's ascension journey. Okay, next page. The souls on Earth at this time, your time, and always, choose to be here. Souls choose to come to Earth, or any incarnation, for a variety of reasons. During your ascension process, many souls have chosen their lifetime for both personal soul growth reasons, as well as to have the great opportunity to be ground crew during the ascension. Thus, you have many, many more beings exhibiting aspects of their greater multidimensional nature at this time. They, you, are accessing the skills and abilities which have always been rightfully yours, but up until very recently in your time reckoning, would have been seen as supernatural. Indeed, as you well know, dear one, it was not that long ago that such abilities could have easily gotten you killed. And then I had a thought running in my mind as I was writing this, and so they responded. And yes, to the question arising in your mind as we share this, indeed, there are still places upon your Earth where right now one could be killed for exhibiting their natural and more activated abilities. As you have been observing, your ground crew is ever growing at this time, with many, many roles and many functions now. Some exhibit tremendous multidimensional abilities, while others present as very 3D, yet are clearly fulfilling an important role in serving the ascension process. Now, this does include your quote-unquote bad guys, dear one, for they too fulfill a very important role, and then they gave me two analogies here. So the bad guys, in other words, are part of this ascension journey in that they are fulfilling a certain role. They're actually pressuring us to awaken. Whether they know it or not, I don't know. But so then they say here, much like the pressure of dense rock eventually produces diamonds, or a bit of grit within a shell becomes a pearl. So they're saying that, there are many of us who are ground crew right now. Many of us are spiritual, in nature, but some are truthers, some are, very in the 3D, some are playing political or military roles at this time, but they are, they're doing that. And some are the bad guys, putting the pressure on for us to awaken to our diamond core. Okay, so then they go on. Now here's we start to shift into the important message of how we focus our energies at this time. So they say, do not despair. All may seem lost at moments in the months ahead, and seem was emphasized. Yet the very opposite is true. All may seem lost at moments in the months ahead, but the very opposite is true. Those whose souls are here to play out more and learn more from the 3D experience will do so. For some, their seeming madness, quotes madness, will be unfathomable to you and others. Do not judge. Remember, you were once, and this is personal to me, but take the resonant, the archetypal theme here. You were once the mad, horse-riding warrior decapitating quote-unquote enemies in a belief in your righteous cause. You were once the obedient slave who would blindly walk to your own slaughter rather than challenge authority. You were once the hapless victim of ignorant and frightened parents whose choices harmed you. You were once the parent doing harm to your child. So let's just take that in. As we look around us at people making choices that to us seem rather crazy, and it sounds like there's going to be more of that ahead, to remember that everyone has their own path right now, and perhaps we were there once as well. So do not judge in these times. We want you to trust that those who are currently cooperating with tyranny cannot harm you as long as you withdraw your energy and focus from them. The tyranny you fear need not come about for you, and while it will come about for many, the worst dystopic visions offered simply will not be able to take root in your world anymore. Gaia is ascending. The 3D frequency of a tyranny akin to The Handmaid's Tale or the Hunger Games are not the destiny of your Earth's future. Such dystopic visions can be lived out elsewhere, and indeed they have, but not within the realm where we address your conscious awareness now, early 21st century Earth. So in other words, they're saying, we can't buy into the fear porn, because that actually cannot manifest here, although the forces would have us co-creating the vision they want and the timeline they want by focusing on what we don't want. So anyway, they're saying don't focus there. Again, we say, while there will be those who choose to live out an experience of great fear, separation, attack, and suffering during this period, for those who are choosing to awaken into 5D, such will not be the case. The tremendous suffering upon your planet will reduce dramatically in very short order. Your roles as the aware ground crew is to focus upon the future and timeline you wish to walk, and avoid focusing upon the timelines you do not want. It's really that simple. Once a human begins to awaken to the false matrix, they often, but not always, then begin their studies of the truth behind the matrix. Having completed their studies, in other words, finding out what's really going on, they can then quite literally check out of the matrix and its agenda and timelines. Not everyone needs to be a truther, as you call them. In fact, very few ground crew have elected this assignment. Thus, once a human wakes up and learns enough about what's really going on, their role is then to focus on the future they want to create through being present within their current now and their life experiences. Sorry, I've changed the page. And then to do their spiritual or inner work necessary, i.e. forgiveness, to raise their own frequency and become a harmonic match to their activating crystalline DNA. So in other words, what they're saying is, we start to wake up. Many of us want to then find out what the heck's going on here. We find out the truth on different levels, the spiritual truth, the galactic history truth, the shenanigans going behind the scenes, what the bad guys are doing, all the ugly shadow stuff. And I would add to that in that process of learning, we're also alchemizing the trauma around it and the sadness and the grief around it. But then when we found out enough information, continuing to dig for the truth, unless we have assigned ourselves to be a truther, doesn't actually serve. That's when we have to redirect, go inward, do our spiritual work, and elevate our frequency to match the reactivating crystalline DNA. We have to check out of the matrix, in other words. Okay, a little bit more. We're almost there. Then they say, in other words, once you know what's going on, stop looking there. Stop arguing with those who still believe in the matrix. And they mean stop arguing literally, like, in Facebook posts. I stopped that a while ago because I couldn't take how aggressive and hostile and willfully ignorant and attacking even those of seeming good intentions, very liberal and stuff, became. So I had to stop. But they're saying not just stop arguing to try and convince or convert or show people the truth out there in the world, conversations, social media, whatever, but literally in your own mind. Stop playing in that battlefield of trying to find the right way to convince someone who's not ready to be convinced. Stop focusing on the fear. Stop engaging in the fantasy futures that are being fed to you to frighten you. Stop resisting the call to your own soul's urgings because you think you have to wake up others. Stop engaging in debates with those who do not yet see as you see. So this is where I feel like the mission is changed in a way. And I believe others are getting this message too, but I haven't heard it directly from someone else, but I've seen some like YouTube titles and stuff. I think that this is the message that many of us are picking up now. Okay, the mission now is shift into the creation of what we want. It's not our job to rescue other people. Many of us felt the call and helped others by putting the truth out there, and there are still some truthers. But now there are those of us who are being called to a different part of the mission, a different step in the mission. So the next thing they say is pour love into the mix for yourself and for others. Let those who are still in 3D be exactly where they are. Then pivot your own focus. What is that word? Upon that which you wish to bring about. Let them be, those who want to be in 3D, let them be there. Then pivot your focus upon that which you wish to bring about. And then they offer some consolence here. What's the word? We understand that you are still having to negotiate many unloving systems within your daily lives. And for those of us who have walked your earth plane, we understand how annoying and troublesome this can be. So we encourage your patience now. If and when you need to play the game of 3D in order to follow your guidance, do so with as much peace and equanimity as possible. And boy, I've been dealing with some of that personally right now. Just nonsense, paperwork, nonsense, just all kinds of silly things. So they're saying that I know personally to me to navigate it with as much peace and equanimity as possible. But I feel like we all have to do that. Whether it's the covering at the store, whatever it is, we're all walking through this, right? So do so with as much peace and equanimity as possible. Remember that you chose to be here now, and that your peacefulness and your focus upon what you wish to bring forward is the way through to the other side. It is the vehicle of both your personal and planetary ascension. So again, your peacefulness and your focus upon what you wish to bring forward is the way through to the other side for us. It is the vehicle of both our personal and planetary ascension. And then they conclude with how they conclude these particular guides. We are Ananda. We are your guides and teachers, and we are pleased to have brought forward this message of hope for you today. You are safe. You are loved. All is well, and all shall be well. We shall return at another time. So that, my dear friends, is our message for today. 3D, 5D, multidimensionality, and may it serve you well. May it uplift you, as I felt extremely uplifted as I brought it through this morning, and offering you much love and bright blessings as we roll into 2021. From all accounts that I have seen, astrologically speaking, channeled messages, and just looking at what's going on in the world right now, we are in for some tumultuous, bumpy months. Astrologically speaking, again, we're looking at maybe by July, things could start to uplift, but certainly the first 2 months of this year could be wild, and especially for those of us here in the USA, but elsewhere as well. So expect some tumultuousness. Keep connected with these kind of messages. Keep connected with your soul guidance. Keep connected with your peace and your equanimity. And let us lift as we rise and stick together through this with the frequency of love, because that is where we are going. We are not going down that timeline of dystopia. As much as the controllers would like that, that ain't where we're going. So let us hold the light. Sending you much love and bright blessings wherever you are in the world and whatever it is you are navigating at this time. All is well, all will be well, and we came here as ground crew for this great and magnificent ascension journey, a rare opportunity in the cosmos. Sending you much love. Mwah. Thank you for being here, and I look forward to our next connection, wherever and whenever that may be. Bye for now.